Thank you, Rishi, and thanks for this question. Let me reiterate the point. When you said 48.7%, did I hear that right? You know, yeah, and I think we will all agree, and it's really disheartening to note the state of employability of today's youth in India. And when you mentioned this for a moment, it took me back to really realize that we have a long way to go, and we have miles to go before we sleep, really. You know? And today, when we're talking about all what is happening, each of us significantly impacted by this by the skill gap that really exists. So why is this really happening? And I'm just thinking, when you put this, when you were talking about, when you give me these insights from the India skills report from Wheelbox, and I'm trying to understand what could be some of the key reasons why it's happening. We all know that this exists, and this point, as you rightly said, keeps coming up time and again. Yeah. And what are we going to discuss? How do we decode this matter? How do we bring an end to this? Or how can we really up this bar and ensure more employability for today's youth? Because today India is a country that generates so many number of engineering graduates, management graduates, across and so if they are not employable, something is going wrong somewhere. And so therefore the most important thing that came to my mind while you were just speaking about it, the one important thing is our education mechanism. And at the risk of taking and bringing this topic up again, but I think it's important to highlight this topic is what really has transpired in the past. And today, India Inc. I'm of the view needs far more robust education initiatives that are really aligned to the industry. Yeah, so because the industry has been rapidly changing over the past years, but is our education system really tuned to what's happening? Yeah, and so therefore the point that comes to me, I think there needs to be stronger industry academia collaboration, in the form of, for example, student internships or live projects. And let me give you a point that I was reading a report some time back, where only 40% of total graduates, engineering graduates, because we take in a lot of engineers, but really 40% of them really opt for internships, for hand-on experience. So, a large chunk of people are really not even doing that. The other most interesting thing to note is, Rishi, almost around 36% odd people take up projects that are other than their course of work. Okay, so really, what exactly are they doing? Where are they really passing their time? How serious is this internship? And so therefore, not tuned to industry, and therefore that big wide gap. And so that's the first thing that comes to mind. Hey, there's a big problem happening here, and we really need to fix that. The second thing is that came to my mind, is in terms of faculty internships. Yeah, we all talk about student internships, and everyone feels that the student needs to learn. But it's also important to that. It's also important to consider a faculty internship so that they really can bring to light real life case studies that industries are facing today, and fine tune them better for a stronger tomorrow. And I think that's very important. And these things, I think if we are able to size and do it really well, and it's important that both industry and academia come together and seal this and cement this, that will go in a long way of going forward. Beyond that, I think this is dealing with a section of people that are actually the people who are joining the workforce. What happens to laterals and people who have been there, done that, and they feel that they know everything, but there's still a gap even there. Yeah, how do we bridge this gap today? There's a strong need for bringing sending people for short-term executive education programs, and today a number of institutions have that, and I'm happy to hear that. But I think this will help really bridge those gaps, or get people back to academics, learn some things, tools, brush up on some tools and techniques, and then come back to work. Yeah, and that will help them not only work better but advance their career, that will help them. And today there are flexible formats that are helping this to be done better. There are online formats, there are flexible schedules, and I'm not getting into the argument of how effective online is. That's a separate topic. But the most important topic, and if I look at it the other way, from a flip side, that online has helped and facilitated people from far distance to break the gaps, break the barriers, break the geography, and actually go there and do that. So that, I think, to my mind, as will make a significant change in terms of imparting stronger executive education for all your lateral bunch of people. Yeah. The second, if we all look back what's taken place in the last 2 years, yeah, there's been a rapid depletion of skills on account of accelerated digitization. And we will all agree, because most of us never anticipated that we would be doing a conference like this on a web call. Yeah, we always thought we would get together, and do a conference. But today these are more effective, and people from all over across India don't have to travel for this. They're all hooked on by a single login. It's as simple as that. But that being said, I think look at the digital skill professionals that are there in the country. Yeah, who are really proficient in this area. And I think the important point to note that only 12% of the India workforce is really can be considered as digitally skilled professionals. So which is a significant dent from where we actually want to be. And this is really causing an acute shortage really in the talent to fill the roles for digital proficiency. And I think the other most important thing, with today, as I spoke about, with virtual operations being there, companies looking at flexible models, and so on and so forth. With the process of digitization now getting more mature, I think the important thing is that computer literacy, digital skills, cyber security, and so on. So this, I think, will go a long way. And so therefore, for an organization to actually change from where they currently are at the level at which they're currently performing, the most important thing is to look at things like agility and planning and critical thinking and risk mitigation. Yeah, these are areas that are very important for a longer haul. So if I were to summarize this in very quick terms, what we have tried to do at Voltbek, we're a fairly new company, and we've taken a number of trainees over the last years, but we've seen these gaps as well. And these are real life examples that I'm witnessing on a day-to-day basis. So what we've done is we've actually put a 2-year intervention for these trainees, wherein the first year, post the induction and the onboarding and the campus to corporate, and we have to put them on a technical training. Then they're on the job and they do shadow working and stuff like that. And then after 1 year, we have a conclave. What does this do? It really assesses the learning, the aspirations of them going forward. And in the second year, we have actually introduced a 40-hour learning intervention, okay, which is spread throughout the course of the year, built in a classroom and a virtual, and also through role play model. Yeah, which is infused in their projects and in their presentations also. And this really focuses on softer skills, the aspect of softer skills, which actually finally culminates into an online, an end-term evaluation and a certification at the end of the year. So this is a small, I would say, a small pathway, Rishi, to actually, build better proficiency and bridge that gap that really exists. And what has been our attempt to do this? We want to expand, professional competency. We want to ensure that we are able to develop skills, knowledge, behavior, and so on and so forth. And we're also enabling them to have a better lifestyle, and build their personality on a larger basis. So I think this has been our larger attempt, and I think if you ask me, to summarize, I think we're all experiencing these changes at an ever-increasing pace, and this pace has got accelerated only very recently. But I think skills are required to succeed today, not only as it's required for tomorrow. And today the problem the country today is facing, not only lack of skills, but actually increasing presence of mismatched skills. So I'll just repeat, the increasing presence of mismatched skill sets. I think that is very important. And to my mind, therefore, upskilling, reskilling, multi-skilling employees is the only way to a sustainable competitive advantage. Yeah, and I repeat, reskilling and multi-skilling, the only way to build sustainable competitive advantage. So that's the way. That's what I would like to really summarize in terms of what we have done and what we will continue to do to bridge this gap between industry, between academia, and to get a workforce that's more ready going forward for all of us.